Environment and Licensing Committee meeting. First of all, do I have any apologies for absence or substitutions? Councillor Ellis?
Thank you, Chair. Apologies from Councillor Alex Scroggy. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ellis. Councillor Smith?
Thank you, Chair. Apologies from Councillor Elliott and Councillor Martin-Smith. I'm substituting.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item 2, which is to approve as a correct record the minutes of the meeting held on 15th April 2025. May I have a proposer, please? Councillor Ellis, seconder. Councillor Palin, those for. Thank you. Against? Abstention. Thank you, Councillor Smith. Item 3, are there any declarations of interest? There are not. Those taxi licensing fees for 2025-26. There is a recommendation to the proposal by the Council's 151 officer, Tina Adams. So Tina is going to present the amendment.
Thank you, Chair. I believe earlier in the year a report was brought to you to set the fees for 25-26. We did have a representation from a member of public which we have considered and we made some initial responses to that which is in your pack. Now the recommendation, we initially asked you to approve the fees for 25-26 going forward. The new recommendation is actually that we don't approve those fees and we just continue with the existing fees as they are until we can review and do a revised set of fees. The reason that we're asking for this is, I'll just give you a little bit of background. So when we set fees for a financial year, we do those around about November, December time when we start the work. Because we haven't finished that financial year, what that means is that we have to estimate for the rest of that financial year. Because all the financial information won't actually be in even up until November, December, we're probably estimating up to about 6 months of that year. We're also then estimating for the following financial year in which we are setting fees and charges. So when we're trying to balance fees and charges over a 3-year period, we've only actually got one set of actual data, one actual year of actual data, and we're relying on 2 years' estimates. Now, in normal circumstances, so historically, we've been able to forecast the number of licenses that we're getting in quite accurately. Over the past few years, it's been quite volatile because we have other authorities that have become a leader in the market. So we have seen a decline in the number of fees coming through. So forecasting the number of licenses has actually been a little bit more difficult. When the representation came in this year, it delayed the setting of fees and charges, which in hindsight is actually quite good because we actually got the outturn figures quite recently for the financial year 24-25, and they are significantly different to the estimates. And because we now have the outturn figures, what we want to do, we think it's a good opportunity to go away with those actual figures and base those fees on 2 years' actual figures and 1 year estimates. And we may actually look to, in the future, instead of setting our fees for April and using that estimated data, we may look to set our fees a little bit later in the year so that we do get 2 years of actual data to base those fees on. That's what the recommendation actually is. As part of that representation, there was also some concerns raised about some legal charges that are levied towards the taxi licenses. So this also gives us an opportunity to go away and have a look at those in more detail, and we'll bring a revised set of fees in the near future. Thank you.
Are there any questions? No? Okay, then I'm going to move to the recommendation that 1, 2 and 3 members consider the response to the consultation on the taxi fees attached at Appendix 1 of the bundle and the response of the Finance Department at Appendix 2. Yeah. Members will decide if any amendments are required to the proposed fees in Appendix 3 after consideration of the information contained in Appendix 1 and 2, and then the changed recommendation, Item 3. Members approve that the fees currently in effect for 2024-25 continue to be charged from 1st July 2025 until such time revised fees are brought forward for approval. So, may I have a seconder, please? Roxanne Ellis, thank you. Those for? Against? Abstentions? That's carried. Thank you very much. Moving on then to item 5, which is item 5. I was right in the first place. I don't have any other items that I consider urgent. Going to the exclusion of the press and public at item 6. Move under section 100A4 of the Local Government Act 1972, the public and press be excluded from the meeting during consideration of the ensuing report on the grounds that the report involves the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in paragraph 7 of part 1 of schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972. May I have a seconder? Councillor Towsey Hinton, thank you. Those for? That's unanimous. Thank you very much.